In this video, we're going to have a look at the second index law. So we want to start off by writing in factor form and then simplifying b to the power of 5 divided by b to the power of 3. Remember, another way of writing that question is b to the power of 5 divided by b to the power of 3. Both methods of writing means we are dividing. So now let's have a look at writing it in factor form. When we write it in factor form, we want to expand the top, the numerator, and expand the bottom, or the denominator. So b to the power of 5 is going to become b times b times b times b times b. So we end up with 5 lots of b's being multiplied. And that is going to be divided by b to the power of 3. So b times b times b. So that's how we write b to the power of 5 divided by b to the power of 3 in factor form. So now to simplify, we want to look for common variables at the top and down the bottom. Now I've got 3 lots of b down the bottom and I've got 5 lots of b up the top. I can cancel out one lot of b's at a time. So I can cancel the first b in my numerator and the first b in my denominator. Then I can cancel the next lot of b's in my numerator and denominator and cancel the last lot of b's in my numerator and denominator. So that leaves me with b times b in my numerator, and I've cancelled all my b's in my numerator, so I'm left with a 1. So now I can write that in simplified form, and that is going to be b to the power of 2, because it's b times b, divided by 1. And because it's divided by 1, I can just write it as equals b to the power of 2. So b to the power of 5 divided by b to the power of 3 equals b to the power of 2. So we have a look back at the original question. I had an index of 5 and an index of 3. And in my answer, I ended up with an index of 2. So what the second index law allows us to do is when we're dividing powers with the same base, we can subtract our indices to get a simplified version of the question. So in this example, it is 5 minus 3, which is equal to 2. So the answer is b to the power of 2. So the second index law is a to the power of m divided by a to the power of n is equal to a to the power of m minus n. Remembering to use the second index law, you need to make sure that you have the same base. If you don't have the same base, you cannot use the second index law. So let's have a look at some examples of how we can apply the second index law to simplify expressions. So in our first example, we are dividing h to the power of 8 by h to the power of 3. So using the second index law, we know that it's going to simplify to equal h to the power of 8 minus 3, which is equal to h to the power of 5. In this second example, is w to the power of 5 divided by w to the power of 4. So again, because I've got the same base, I can use the second index law. So that is going to equal w to the power of 5 minus 4, which equals w to the power of 1. And when it's w to the power of 1, I can simplify that even further by just writing w and leaving out my power. Because when there's no power written, it means it's written to the power of 1. And in the last example, g to the power of 7 divided by g to the power of 2, using the second index law, because I've got the same base, that is going to simplify to g to the power of 7 minus 2, which equals g to the power of 5. So that are some examples of how we apply the second index law. When we're dividing by the same basis, we subtract our indexes.